afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to Throwbacks, where we talk all things cool and retro. We got the coolest, most charismatic man there ever was with the good old Arn Anderson. We also got Tully Blanchard, which I don't have a lot of memories of Tully Blanchard. Anything I have, Tully Blanchard is more looking back at the archives, the network, the WWE network, things like that. Peacock, wherever it is nowadays, to find the old AWA, NWA, WCW, that type of stuff. But Tully Blanchard definitely is a legend in the business, and of course, AA Arn Anderson as well. So definitely two that were a no-brainer addition to my very specific, for the most part, big rubber guy collection. I usually try to stick with the more old school type guys, and then the guys that weren't necessarily WWE, WWF only type guys. Like Demolition, Macho Man, guys like that. I try to, or this version of the Road Warriors, this one being the LOD versus just the old school, the older old school Hawk and Animal of the Road Warrior. So I do have my rules here because as you can tell, there is quite a bit of big rubber guys and more coming pretty much every month or two to the collection. And at $50 a piece, they're not cheap, but they are a whole lot of fun. But let's go ahead and get into the newest additions to the big rubber guys. Alright, let's get into it, starting off with Tully Blanchard. Let's get into his belt. I've only gotten one figure, I do believe, that has a belt, and that is the NWA championship that came with Harley Race. So definitely nice to add some new belts to the collection. Here we have the National Heavyweight Wrestling Champion. Looks really good, really clean. Very simple, but nice rubber, not paper, cardboard, anything like that. So really, really nice. And even in the modest details, there are still details, as you can see here. Guy getting lifted up, kind of power slam, the eagle. The wording's actually all there. So really nice. Happy to see that. Now let's get into Tully himself. If you handed me this, would I be like, Tully Blanchard, look at there? No, probably not. But that's more for me not really knowing younger Tully. I want to say, actually, now that I've been thinking about it, I want to say I saw Tully Blanchard's technically his last match when he wrestled in AEW here in Jacksonville, Florida. So I want to say that's kind of historical. So gives me more reason to have Tully here. But definitely feels good. Has the normal big rubber guy feel to it. I would say some nice playability. You could do some good old clotheslines. You could do some pickup and power slams. So, with the homage to the old LJNs, I always kind of look at that, but also with the understanding that at the end of the day, they are meant to be for collectors and just kind of sit on a shelf. But I do like when you can have, at least, you could sell yourself some playability here if you wanted to. I do have the TB on the trunks. Pretty simple looking stuff there. Well, note you can see a little bit there of the connection point here on the figure. So not a super fan of that, but it's also not the end of the world. With just like a little bit closer of a seam. As I said, these are not cheap figures at all. But overall, a very nice, it's just always fun just to kind of squeeze them all around there looking figure. 2 stars each side, 2 stars each side. Major, collectmajor.com 2025, made in China, all that good stuff. Does stand with no issue, so really, really happy with that. Looks very good. Nice historical figure, we'll say. Now we're going to move on to AA. Let's get into AA's belt here. We have the television heavyweight champion. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride for AA. I do not believe he was ever a world champion. Actually, I'm pretty positive he was never a world champion. But always doing great things there in the ring. Now this face, yeah, I'd probably guess Arn Anderson pretty quick here with this face. It being a older Arn Anderson, he is or a younger, depending on how you want to word it. Definitely has all his hair there, so they did him a favor with that versus having the bald spot, or of course the pretty much top-down look that he has nowadays. But nice body here, not as ripped and jacked as Tully, I don't think. Yeah, I feel like his chest here is wider. You know, he's got a little bit of abs coming through, but they're not really ripped, and they're more off to the side. Just kind of a thicker body guy here. That is Arn Anderson. He's got his dukes up. He's ready to throw some punches, hit him with the uppercut, pick him up, hit him with the spine buster. I think that's kind of what they were going for here. Is, you know, you can pick up your guy and hit him down with the spine buster. As we all know, Arn Anderson is really well known for his crazy spine busters. We got the double A here on the trunks, written in nice cursive writing. I do see a little bit of, I'm not sure if it's rub or what we got going on here. Just a little bit of yellow kind of showing through. So not a fan of that. When it's something so simple as basically what, 2 colors on this guy, any kind of blemish or anything like that is going to show, and that definitely shows just a little bit. Again, not the end of the world, but also not ideal. So we got a little plastic or something from the factory. Rubber legs feel really nice. No muss or fuss here on the boots, just red and white. Knee pads always on these guys, on these rubber guys, they always seem a little silly because they're a little lower. Because these guys don't really have knees. I guess that would be the knee right there, but they're not doing a whole heck of a lot. Nothing on the back. Does, I would assume, stand pretty good. Yep, no issues standing. He's a little tiny wonky. If you don't have an air-controlled room, you might want to set him up for success and kind of have him leaning back. But looks really good. I mean, we got some massive biceps going on there. Just nice, thick boy. He's a thick boy for sure. Well, let's get their belts on. Let's give our final thoughts on Tully Blanchard and good old AA Arn Anderson. And there we go. Good old Tully Blanchard, good old AA, looking really nice. The belts really add a lot to these figures, I gotta say. Was almost kind of thinking I didn't want to put them on just because I like the AA and the TB on the trunks, and obviously this covers them up. But the added benefits here are definitely outweigh having those on there for sure. But look really good, look really fun. Oh yeah, let's go spine buster time, baby, or whatever extracurricular activities they're doing there on the road. The nights can be lonely there on the road in the good old days, but I'm happy with this. I think this is probably the first big rubber guys that I ever had any kind of real quality control issues, and you see how small they really are. You know, they're not like Mattel's where an arm won't stay on, or a leg won't lift, or the head just won't sit on, or, you know, waist won't connect. Things like that can completely ruin a figure. None of the issues here completely ruin the figure. And in the case of Arn on his trunks, you can't even see it with the belt on. Same here with Tully, with the kind of waist not being completely seamless. Don't even notice it when it's like this. So small things. I do believe they've changed factories, coming up with the new demolition set. So I guess we'll see how those go. Sometimes the grass isn't always greener, so we'll see how that goes when that day comes. I think the only thing I have that would be from that new factory is a Macho Man red, white, and blue, and a AEW old school Sting. So that we are definitely looking forward to. But I am looking forward to my next big rubber guy unboxing. But until then, we're going to have to do what we have to do, and that is to get on out of here, to take some time to throw one back. But before we do us a favor, hit us with a like, hit us with a comment, of course, subscribe to the channel, as we do post new content every single day. But as I said, it's time to get out of here. It's time to throw one back. So for myself and Uncle BJ, we are going to throw one back, and we'll see you all next time.